Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at a game called Gladiator, and this is not related to the 1986 Allumer Taito game. No, this is a totally different game. This is created by SNK in 1984. And it's not nearly as good as the other Gladiator. This is a pretty crappy game. This was suggested by YouTube user Charlie Cat. And with the title like Gladiator, you'd probably think that you'd be a Roman soldier fighting another soldier in an arena with, sword and shield. That is not the case at all in this game. You are simply on a horse. And there are various obstacles you have to jump over, you have to avoid. The collision detection on this game is just shitty. It looks like you can bump into the other horses, but once in a while, you'll fall over and lose a life. I don't know why the hell that happens, but yeah, this game is crappy. I had definitely never seen or heard of this until MAME came along. But this is a 3/4 perspective game, like ZAXXON, where you face to the northeast, and there are other horses or other gladiators astride horses racing with you, and there are various walls you can jump over, and you'll get some points. You don't score a whole lot of points in this game. You can get points by bashing into the other horses and forcing them into walls to make them trip over. But if you trip over, you will lose a life. I mean, if you get knocked over by something, run into a wall, or get slammed into a wall, run into one of those things. And there are various things that you can easily trip over. And like I said, sometimes it looks like you shouldn't have tripped over them, and you fall. And on occasion, it seems like you run through them sometimes. We'll see that a little bit later. So many objects you can get tripped up on. I have not utilized this yet, but there is a run button, or a gallop button, or whatever. There's pigs that you can trip on. There is a gallop button, and if you keep hitting it, you will run faster, and I have not utilized that yet, but you will want to utilize it. At the very end of this level here, the action will go left-right instead of 3/4 angle, and you will need... I went right through one of those barrels. Okay. You will need to wail on the gallop button here. Ooh, just made it. You win. You don't lose you don't get your game over if you don't make first. You'll still get some bonus points even if you lose, but you get more if you win. Now on this part of this course here, you have a chariot, and your horse can fire these bombs, or you can fire bombs from, I'm not sure where you're firing from, but it's kind of graphically limited, but you shoot these little bombs to the side, and I think they default go to your right side when you press the jump button. So you do not have an ability to jump on this stage. That just throws the bombs. And it seems like you have you're harder to bring down on this level. You can run into a number of enemies, it seems, and not get tripped over. Then again, the game's crappy collision detection might make you trip over like a pig. Yeah, screw you, game. What a piece of crap. But there are only 2 levels, and then they repeat after that. with added difficulties, like maybe a tighter road to navigate, more enemies, more difficult enemies showing up more often, stuff like that. That is Gladiator by SNK in 1984. And like I said, there was another Gladiator game that was much better than this and much more popular. And it was called, it was Gladiator by Allumer and Taito. And it was kind of a cool scrolling game in which you are a gladiator and you can strike high, low, or middle, and you can block high, low, or middle with a shield. And you go through levels blocking things, and eventually you'll meet up with a opponent gladiator, and you must take them down using your defensive and offensive skills you've learned. Pretty cool game. I have that as number 14 in my 20 from 1986 series, I believe. But yeah, this game sucks. We're just going to look at the rest of this second level. But again, right when you're at the end, you will change to a horizontal perspective, and you need to wail on the gallop button. Now, if you do use the gallop button, like during this 3/4 perspective look, your horse will eventually tire. I mean, if you keep wailing on the button, your horse will eventually tire, and it'll shake its head and slow down. It's kind of funny. But again, once the viewpoint shifts to left-right, wail on that gallop button to make sure you stay in first. But again, even if you... here's a little sequence here. She gives the gladiator jockey an olive wreath on his head and kisses him. And then you get a special bonus. And it's multiplied because I was in first place. But yeah, you still get points for your time remaining, even if you didn't finish first. And now we're back to the first level. Well, that was Gladiator by SNK in 1984, not to be confused with the better Gladiator game 2 years later. Well, this is Crazy Climber 80s, and thanks for watching Gladiator by SNK in 1984, 3/4 perspective horse racing game. I will catch you later with another video in the future. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.